college then was split into two schools. The School of Basic Medical Sciences and the School of Clinical Sciences. And Professor Kelsey Harrison was the Dean of Medical Sciences, of Clinical Sciences. So he led the team to the General Hospital, Port Harcourt. After his report, I told the committee that they had not done what was expected of them, which was to identify the deficiencies they have found at the General Hospital. The decision whether we are going to move there or not has already been taken. And what was required was for us to remedy whatever deficiencies there were. So they went back and then itemized the deficiencies, returned the report to the Senate, and Professor Harrison, who was the leader of the time, the most senior person in the clinical sciences at the time, he still insisted, I still recall his statement at the Senate, that he wants to be on record. And I believe it's part of the Senate record at the time, that he is recommending, that he's opposed to our moving to the General Hospital for the training of our clinical students. I was not happy with that, and I called into my office and told him that since he was not in support and I don't want any failure, the best thing for him is to resign his post, his position as Dean of Clinical Sciences, which he did. And I appointed then Dr. but later Professor Chris Anna, who was a Professor of Internal Medicine, to take over the post of Dean of Clinical Sciences. So we started. We constructed the library. We constructed another lab, and we obtained funds to build some accommodation for resident doctors. The major problem that confronted us then and thereafter was the students themselves, the clinical students, because they had to commute from Choba to across town to the General Hospital almost daily. And that was not easy. Most of them could hardly afford the transportation. I remember once they led a delegation to my office demanding a solution. And I promised them that we would get buses to bus them from the university to the General Hospital, which I succeeded in doing. But that was just part of the solution. The major part, or another aspect of it, was to move them closer to the hospital so that they could go in and out according to the program that their lecturers had established. So I approached again the Secretary to Government because I had heard that there were 2 buildings close to the hospital that were abandoned but had been acquired by government. They were not occupied at the time. I think the buildings are still there. I gave all those 2 buildings, which we renovated and converted the interior to accommodate our students, provided catering facilities and other facilities that were needed. And they subsequently moved in there, which solved that problem. Eventually, the economy improved and gradually the work resumed at the teaching hospital at the university. And our students and facilities were able to move in to where you are now.
This is pure history. But I want to ask one question. The Senate sent a 5-man delegation and they came with a report that was not correct. And they asked them to look at the efficiency and they came back with it. I know at that point in time it would be like you're the only person that was determined to make it happen.
Yes.
So I want to know, what was it that you saw? Like, what was it that you saw? Where everybody wasn't saying something. Because this is where we are. 45 years later, we're celebrating. But the decision of one man made it happen. And what was it that time about this whole thing? Why is it that we didn't give up? When everybody was saying it's not possible, let's meet the medical students. And then what you stood then, and we even had to instruct the dean back then to resign since he was not willing to work with you on achieving this. So what was the motivating factor? What was it that made you firm on your decision?
Well, I believed it was my responsibility to protect the interests of the students. Most of them, of course, hardly any of them knew the kind of battle that was being fought on their behalf. But I believe that they benefited from that decision. For me, it was a matter of commitment to my responsibility as a Vice Chancellor of the university. Incidentally, I remained Vice Chancellor till 1989. And by that time, the college was well established and the academic programs were progressing. And we didn't have to go begging other institutions every year to take in our students. We had our own homegrown doctors